HorrorDeconstruction.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's the HorrorDeconstruction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and most likely on YouTube. Give us a like. Hit that button that has the thumbs on it with your host Komp and
Goat.
as well as
Thea.
today's film is
Lamb. Do you get the name reference? I said goat. That's another animal. 2021.
It's pretty good. Lamb 2021. A childless couple, Maria and Ingvar, discover a mysterious newborn on their farm in Iceland. The unexpected prospect of family life brings them much joy before ultimately destroying them. Directed by Valdimar Johansson. Written by Sjon.
That was good.
Ooh, look at that name, Sjon. S-J-O-N. That's a pretty cool name. And Vladimir Johansson, starring Numi Rapace, Hilmir Snare, holy shit, Hilmir Snare Gwansanan, and Bjorn Hilnir Haraldsson. Boy, oh boy.
Sure.
So, Thea, why'd you pick Lamb?
Because it's a weird A24 movie, and I saw the trailer, and I was like, that looks interesting.
Interesting. Right. That's as any A24 movie. A24 is like the two companies that do some interesting work
The upper
are
echelons of horror, in my mind.
the two companies, A24 and Spectavision, are the ones that do. Although I haven't heard much from Spectavision lately, but I think they're more producing.
Also, the what's his face, the one that did, the studio that does like Creep and stuff. They're decent.
That's Spectavision, isn't it?
No.
Who's that?
No,
All right,
it's like a guy's name. What?
go
I'm blanking.
Google that. while I'm doing
Duplass?
No.
Anyway, so Lamb is this movie that A20. So Thea, just give us a little run around why people were abuzz and talking about this Lamb trailer and all this stuff.
Just because it's a half human, half lamb hybrid. It's like
Blumhouse.
it's weirdly highbrow, like very dramatic, which is A24.
Yeah. So of
was
course,
there a different thing that was more exciting to people than the fact that it's a weird lamb person that they're taking care
I
of?
guess so. But you know how it is.
I expected it to be much more horror, but no.
A24 is considered they consider this. Well, I don't know who the fuck they is, but they say that it's like a boutique horror. So it's like I think did they do Babadook and all that stuff, right?
But there's no horror in it.
All right, Danny, we get that. You said that the first 5 seconds. We know that.
I feel like the only thing that really makes it a horror movie is like kind of the ending, and like obviously the actual big bad quote unquote. It's not.
I had seen some non-spoiler reviews before this, so luckily it tempered what I coming into the movie, that it was not. They said it was more of a fairy tale. Like I was watching. There's a YouTube channel called Double Toasted that I really like. Really enjoy that channel. It's really good.
I'm fascinated by the screen I'm looking at right now. It's like some weird ghosts flying in front of a couch.
I forgot to get rid of it. No, I'm on Skype with these two, and I'm using a background of like some random apartment, but I have tape over my lens, so it's giving like it looks like any video effect of like a ghost that you see in those cheap ass like ghost videos that people claim are real. So sorry for that, guys. I forgot to close it off. Anyway,
I love it.
So it's boutique horror. This is A24. Obviously, they do this highbrow type of horror films, and of course, they already started out. I think most of the arguments when people complain about A24. Because it's not scary, it's more cerebral. These are the people that like.
That's not true.
All right,
times when people say that.
I know these are the people that like are doing backflips over the new Halloween movie. Saying it's brilliant or something because it just kills life. You can have great movies where a lot of people die in and it's fun, but not Halloween Kills. Fucking Story of Ricky. Go see that. That's brilliant. I love Story of Ricky.
Or even that new one by what's his face, James Wan. That was fun.
Malignant. For 20 minutes. For 20 minutes is solid. The rest of it you gotta fucking.
But that 20 minutes makes the whole thing worth it, in my opinion.
Speak for yourself. I didn't even realize it in the review.
The more I think about it, the more I like that movie.
The funny thing is, somebody didn't bring up in the review for Malignant that I didn't make any sense to me is that it takes place in Seattle, right?
Right.
You know that hotel room where that guy, one of the scientists gets killed, like his face gets cut up or something? His outside his window is Silver Cup Studios. That's a fucking studio in New York City. It's only
I know,
in
but
New York
maybe
City.
there's another one there.
No, I think it's only in New York because that's more.
All right, so maybe they flew the malignant creature to New York. I don't know. That's in Queens, right? That's when you're crossing the 59th Street Bridge.
Silver Cup Studio like warped itself
Yeah,
into
you're crossing
Seattle.
the Queensboro Bridge. I think
Anyway,
that's
back
where
to
it is.
Look, she
Lamb.
loses a lot of time. She could have done cross-country travel.
Yeah. Speaking of losing time, Thea has to get out of here soon. So,
Oh,
Thea,
sorry.
talk to us about Lamb. What is this movie about?
Tell us all about it, Thea.
It starts with just like a herd of horses that's spooked by sort of an unknown entity that we sort of get a POV vision of from, and then breathing loudly multiple times in the movie, so you know they're sort of watching. We don't know what the entity is, except that basically it impregnates a sheep, and then we get this little half sheep, half person
That's the
baby.
dream.
So
It's
we
the
find
dream.
out we make
They
sure
don't
that
reveal,
it's not that.
Yeah, they don't reveal that it's like. I mean, we know that it is because we see it in the trailer, but they don't reveal that it's half baby. For
I
a
didn't
long
see
time.
the trailer.
And it's a good thing that Ingvar wasn't the one that fucked the sheep, because I'm sure that would have been if it was a comedy in America.
I mean,
the wife
felt
would
like
be
she was
like,
going to turn to him and ask
"Oh
at
yeah."
some point. But
The wife would be like, "What did you do?" If her like point of
Why
he'd be like,
I oughta-
"I didn't do nothing. I swear." Oh.
Boom! To
But
the
she's cha-
moon!
I
She's
knew you were
chasing
fucking
him,
the
but in
sheep, but I
Icelandic
didn't
or
know that
whatever.
this would happen.
She's chasing him with a rolling pin and all that
Yeah.
shit. Anyway, rolling curls in her hair. So, yeah, so it's funny. This movie stars Noomi Rapace. I've not really seen Noomi Rapace in other movies besides. We first heard about her at least in the United States. I think most people, for she was in the Girl with the Dragon tattoo.
Yeah.
Is that what she's from? Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of dragon
But
dildos,
she was
I feel
also
like I recognize.
she's also in Prometheus, right?
yes, and
Oh yeah.
she was the best part. She was great in Prometheus.
She was.
Prometheus, I think, is the same thing as Malignant, but the reverse of it. I think it's 80% great, and then it fucks up. But
Everybody
they
shits on that movie. It's okay.
I liked that movie.
no, I liked it. I actually liked it. I liked it. For me, my favorite part of Alien, the first film, is the exploration. I actually didn't give a shit about the alien actually chasing people at the end, which people I'm sure are like, oh my god, you're an asshole. No, but I like the exploration. I love the world building, which Prometheus does, but it does the same thing. It's like the opposite.
Yeah.
It stretches out the first 20 minutes of Alien, which is my most favorite part of it, and then they just throw an alien.
What about this movie though?
Yeah, but 1 second. So what they did with Noomi Rapace is they fucked her over. They pulled a newt from Alien 3 on Noomi Rapace's character for Alien Legacy or whatever the fucking that
Right.
sequel was. Conspiracy,
Yeah.
whatever, Alien Conspiracy, and it's just so stupid because she could have been a new fucking
Ripley.
Ripley.
Yeah, totally.
And then they were like, hey, no, she's dead. Remember that character you
Yeah,
like?
they
She's
killed her.
dead. Just
They
like
killed her
remember
off.
Newt. Remember Newt? Remember her and Bishop and they
Yeah.
killed her too. Yeah, fuck them all. Good idea, morons. I'm gonna use the bad word. So yeah, so she's in here. She plays Maria. Thea, who's Maria? What's her character?
Her character, it seems like they're sort of like they're living this sort of mundane, very quiet, very unattached. Like they seem disconnected from each other, her and her husband. And you don't really know why for a while. I actually didn't know why exactly until I read the Wikipedia and was
Oh
like,
yes, this is a movie where as soon as the credits came up, I said expanding, explain.
But so at some point they name the child Ada, and then she visits a grave later on with that name
Yeah.
on the gravestone. So she's named this child after a child that she lost, basically.
Yeah, there's a
And
lot of crosses.
and
in
that's
that
why it
out.
restored their happiness, was because they finally got to sort of have the family that they had always wanted. And that's it's a very beautiful story in it, but it's also like pretty dark.
Yeah.
The lamb's mother keeps trying to sort of get to the child
Rightfully so.
because it's their child.
Do sheep
That-
care about their children like the way
This one sure
I
does.
would think.
intelligent?
I saw a video of a mother bear and her cub, because then one of her cubs fell inside of like a trash bin, and the bear was like going crazy, and the mama bear was right next to the trash bin as the baby bear jumped on her back and tried to open up the bin. So I think these animals kind of care for their young. I think it's just
Well, I know a lot do, but sheep are like notoriously stupid. I don't know.
Well, this one was smart. Okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
I don't know.
This is a movie with a ram man, so I think they care or something like that.
That's right. Anyway,
So, yeah,
at some
this
point
movie-
she kills the mother, and
Right.
that was pretty brutal.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Like
Yeah.
I was very upset about the dog. Oh my god.
I know you would. It was cute.
And
sheepdog
that dog
in the
was
movie.
so fucking cute. Oh
was a
my
cute
god.
dog.
Yeah, the sheepdog you can tell is like one of those really well trained, like actual. You know, when
It's like a kind of dog that, like, if you were making a jigsaw puzzle of like a farm, that would be the dog on the picture.
you know when they do have dog shows and when people like have them run through the hoops and all that bullshit.
Yeah, that's the one.
And the
that
dog
would do it,
the dog is looking like every time the dog is walking with the person, it looks like they're waiting for a command. Like it's literally like looking at them, and it was just a really cute dog. And then
Yeah.
it turns into a puppet later on in the movie. Cause
And now I'm gonna eat more lamb now to punish.
off to halal, guys. Let's get some lamb and
no.
chicken. But so yeah, this movie becomes some sort of like after I read, because there's an article on it. It's the first article that comes up after you Google lamb ending explained. I got pretty much. No, I just wanted to know because there's the final shot and stuff like that. It's a little very art housey. The last shot where it's just this woman.
I think it's just kind of like
she's just looking and contemplating. Yeah, she's just contemplating, and I was like, oh, okay, because I thought she was going to come up with a gun, but this movie is anti sort of what you'd expect in this type of film. And in a regular thing, the parents, the Ram Man would take the baby back, and the two of them would try to shoot down the Ram Man. It's that's the Hollywood sort of stupid movie. This is more of something else. And when I read the article, it turns the film into some quasi I wouldn't say proto-feminist type of movie, but it's pro her character, and since she's female or identifying as female in the movie, it's and the only seemingly nice people in this movie get killed off for some reason. I'm only quantifying her as the husband is nice because he didn't shoot the mother of the fucking lamb.
The husband seems nice.
He is, and he's the one, and the brother certainly isn't a nice guy because I think him and the wife had an affair or something in the past. Because I think what I put together is that they lost a child. And they were barely keeping it together. She probably had a fling with the brother who was a piece of shit. And she didn't want to restart it. You know what I mean? Because she was like, now that they had Ada back, she realized she could have a family unit. She didn't want to break that up. But of course,
what was I don't know. I felt like there was a lot of stuff in this movie that like served no purpose.
But as I read what the article says from the director and Noomi Rapace, what they say is that the film obviously it's about loss and trying to find that back, and she feels full now that she has Ada back. I mean, Ada with her, but she knew that it was going to be temporary. So at the end of the film, as her husband's dying or dead, she doesn't run off to the Ram Man because I think the director says the whole time she feels that she knew that it was going to be temporary. And
because
only
she's already learned that lesson from the first child, kind of.
Right, and only really with the death of her husband, she's freed. And I'm like, that's kind of fucked up.
I just thought of a sequel. The sequel, she gets a strap-on dildo and fucks all the sheep trying to get a new baby.
Oh, no. Yeah, because that'll work.
I was going to actually mention the dragon dildo, but have you guys seen that? I'm sure you guys seen that. It's like this.
No. Is it a porn?
Excuse me?
No, Danny. You know what? When you plug into a socket.
Oh no.
Imagine that, but for like anybody who wants to use that. That's exactly what it is. It's colored funny. Thea's not saying anything during this. Anyway, so
I don't know.
I'm so sorry for what we've done.
Guys, Google dragon dildo.
No, thank you.
And if your partner has that, head for the hills. So. That's essentially the good person movie and the good doggy in the movie are killed, and the kind of piece of shit characters are freed. They're freed to live their lives. So it's one of those things like Ram Man comes in. I was very much confused of that character coming because I don't know I thought it was fucking Baphomet that came in and was coming after him for his kid or some shit like that. Because they have that really great effect with
this is like the size of my torso.
Oh, okay.
Don't look it up while we're
so you see the I'm sure he's going to be Googling for scientific reasons later. But when we see, what did you guys think of Ram Man?
I mean,
scary.
Yeah, it was freaky. It made sense, but I was kind of like, I guess this is just kind of like a weird, I don't know, mythical thing in the mountains.
Yeah, because I mean, he could
interpret it as a god at some point, maybe.
Yeah, he could be representative of something in the storyline, but I think he's just actually like a ram man.
He's just
And
I
literally
wonder
a
if
ram
that
man.
is a Icelandic thing, though. If there is like a god
Probably.
like that, you know.
I tell you this, he lived up to that name, eh? That's how he got the lamb character.
Oh,
So what'd you
boy.
guys think of the actual like lamb character, Ada? How'd you think her
cute.
effect and everything? She's a cutie. Sometimes that effect did not work.
Yeah.
Cause like her body's like forward and then her head would twist around in different directions. Cause I guess that's the only thing they. So, like, there was a movie with Marlon Wayans called Little Man, and that's essentially
That's
that's
the
essentially
best.
what they did for this. They just replaced a person's head with a lamp. I would love to see the behind the scenes of this movie.
I thought you were
But
going to say a supercut of those two movies together.
That'd be great too.
Yeah.
But
Man, that lamb was probably so happy. It's just getting cuddled all day long and like fed.
yeah,
and
they
stuff.
try to hide it within the first 15 minutes. That's why I was like, honestly, I had seen this with like 4 hours of sleep, and
Yeah.
I was crashing, man, watching this movie. The
And
first
it's very
act-
quiet and slow. And
right, and
Yeah,
but
there's almost no dialogue for the
Yeah.
first like 2/3 of the movie.
until the brother character comes in, which sort of like is a representation of the audience, because he's like, what the fuck is going on here, you know? Then eventually likes her. He is a piece of shit. Like,
Yeah.
he's obviously the black sheep. I guess maybe they were doing that. He was the black sheep of the family or something like that. And he's like, I guess he used to be a rock star, and that's how they all became. It was his introduction is pretty funny because I was like, what the fuck is this? That woke
You
me
got
up.
thrown
you know?
out of the back of a car
Yeah.
or something.
They had 2 actual sheep births in the film. Like, she actually pulled the sheep out of the baby sheep out of the mother sheep and stuff like that. So like it's graphic in that way, but I thought it was like, because usually I'm not into watching that type of shit at all, of birthing in general
is?
and genuine.
But it wasn't like it
there's
was.
some
It
people
wasn't
out there.
like it was a pretty clinical version of it, and like, but it was
Right.
interesting. I don't know. It was interesting. To,
Yeah, it was
like,
actually
demonstrate
interesting.
their lives, I guess.
Yeah, it was nice to see the lamb like wake up, after being born, because I thought it would just be all. But the fact that like, you know what the fucking movie's about. You know, it's a sheep kid walking around, and the first 20 minutes are like, oh, let's hide her in a blanket, and you'll
I
be
mean,
shocked.
I had
I'm
no
like,
idea
it's
what the movie
it's
was
in the
about. I
trailer.
didn't watch the trailer, but I knew that it was a human body
Right.
Yeah.
because
So-
it was just obvious. Like, it
Because
seemed
you were like,
obvious.
otherwise, why would they bring only this one in? Kind of.
Yeah, and why are they making such a big deal out of it? And
Right.
blah blah blah. Like,
So,
obviously,
Yeah.
So Ada's like a very cute character. She's probably, I guess she grows faster than a normal human baby would, but I guess sheep grow faster anyway. And
And she
she's
doesn't.
just a
And
kid-
she doesn't really speak either, right? So she's
No,
all,
she's
it's
just
all
sort
just sort
of-
of emotive.
Yeah, gestures and grunts and stuff like that. And she's I guess she looks like maybe a 3-year-old or something like that.
Yeah.
The way the body is formed and stuff like that. So I do like that. The movie is gorgeous. It's like a gorgeous
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
film. But you can also tell it's the
every
direct.
A24 is though.
You can also tell it's the director's first film because
Yeah.
this is his first film. Like, you can definitely tell like it's their first movie. Not to take away like say it's a bad movie, but you can tell that there's a lot of lingering and
Yeah, it's
shit
indulgent,
That, like
a little
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they
But it's-
seriously could have cut out. I don't know, like half the movie. Like,
Yeah.
I feel
They
like
could've,
it's
you
but
know?
it's true. Like,
There's some. I'm sure there's people who be like, why wasn't there more Ram Man? Where's the Ram Man sequel, like Hatchet or some shit like that? I'd actually watch a Ram Man.
I'd
movie.
watch if they got Tony Todd in there as like the tour guide that ran in. You know, he's like an Icelandic tour guide or
But
something.
this director would probably just have Ram Man having sex with sheep. That's it. That's
Oh
the
my
sequel. His
God.
idea.
It's
But
horrible.
Yeah, that would
I
be
thought-
a great porn.
What? Oh boy. What do you guys? What do you guys have negative thoughts about? I think we're both like. I think we're all like agree that it's probably just a little too long.
I would
for-
not
Yeah.
call it horror.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's very low in terms of the like horror elements. It doesn't really have that. It's more of like a character study drama thing. But because it's supernatural or not even super, it's not really supernatural
It's
either.
a little supernatural.
It's like maybe, but like it's kind of
Well-
open to interpretation if it's supernatural. He's just like he could just be a different being we didn't know existed. Basically.
Well, I mean, it's natural that there's people in it, but it's supernatural because there's people with lambs' heads. That's the supernatural
I
part.
guess so. Yeah.
But as I said before, people had treated it as a fairy tale, which I think is more adept to this
Yeah.
because
Yeah, it's kind of like a morality tale almost too. A bit.
yeah. So I mean, that's why I had no issue watching it, lensing it as a horror film, because I knew coming in it wasn't really a horror film. But people but I will say I got excited the last 15 minutes when you see that reflection of that beast in the lamb's eye and stuff like that. Because like, okay, something's gonna happen. Because I'm all right with watching movies where nothing happens. You know, you can watch Clerks or any type of other type of film like that.
But things do happen.
No, I get it, but this largely for what's being sold as a horror film, which it isn't. You're expecting things to happen.
Yeah.
So that when the film like shifts genres in those last 15 minutes and you feel it, like you're like, oh, cool. You know what I mean? That's pretty fucking. It seems like as slowly paced as it is originally, and then when it just starts becoming this different type of film completely at the end, that's when you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I like this. So that director definitely has strengths in that area, but
yeah.
You know, do you guys have any other negative things about this film or positives?
Not really.
No, just a little bit long, but it was interesting to watch.
It's another non-bad A24 film. That's my feeling on that.
Yeah, I would say amongst the, I mean, because A24 has this legacy of, you know, Hereditary, Lighthouse, which Midsommar, it's hard to stack it up against those because those are sort of more prolific and more horror also, strictly.
Yeah.
But this was an interesting addition, and it was an interesting concept too.
Yeah, I mean, it's you haven't seen. It's like Waiting for Godot, but it's for a lamb and shit, or Ram Man. It's a very particular type of film, and you've never seen a film like this, especially with. I mean, I'm sure you've seen films like this, but not with this kind of subject matter and what the hell it is. So
and not treated in this particular way, you know.
Yeah.
Now, when you mentioned Little Men, I'm just picturing if they made that movie, but with a lamb person.
It's just eating grass instead of trying to steal money and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think this is a type of film that has an interesting premise and an idea to it. So, it's like if they made a movie about, like, a serious court drama about lawyers, but the judge is a gorilla. So, I mean, it's that kind of shit where they'd be like, okay, let's see if we can make a good movie. I want to see that movie. But anyway, what rating would you give this Lamb 2021, Danny?
If I feel bad.
I'm there with you. No, I'm there with you. I understand.
If we're rating it as horror, then I have to give it a really low rating.
But that's rated as a movie.
That's A24's problem.
If I'm rating it as a movie, I give it a 7.
Yeah.
Because it's really well shot. It's all good acting, but like nothing really happens, and it's like 45 minutes too long.
Yeah. Well, what's the rating? 6, 7 of 1.
Oh, right.
Wow.
7 out of 10. One moment you're trying to feed your, I guess your niece, your lamb niece, grass and making fun of her for being an animal, and the next second you're cuddling with her on the couch and you embrace her as a human.
So, Thea, what rating would you give Lamb 2021?
I would give it 7 out of 10. Heavy breathing indicates we are an animal, and that's about it.
I would give this movie Lamb 2021 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. It's a gorgeous film. There's long stretches in it, but I think overall it's a good experience watching it, just because there's a mood to it that I think works. 6 out of 10. Not instantly yelling at your husband about fucking the sheep, because it's a half human, half sheep. How cute was it that one of the hands was a hooves? It was like
it was very cute.
That was so cute.
Yeah.
It was sort of like
that. Yeah. So Thea, what's the final word?
Story.
Danny, what's the final word?
Wool coats.